So first up, let me make it clear that Android 12 is by far the biggest revamp of Android since Lollipop. Android 12 brings what Google is calling the Material UUI, and this UI is all about the more dynamic elements, cool animations, more rounded corners, etc. Now the big change you'll notice first up is the new notification shade and quick settings panel. Honestly, the quick settings here reminds me of MIUI, but that's not a bad thing. I think it looks better than your usual icons that we have come to expect from Android quick settings. Anyway, so the notifications now have rounded corners with app icons on the left more prominent, and it shows you the number of notifications from an app in a better manner, and the snooze notification option is now available right here. Now below the notifications are the two buttons for the notification history, which looks good, and manage. There's also now support for multiple media players here, as you can see. Swiping down brings the quick settings panel, and you get these three options at the bottom. The option to edit the toggles in quick settings, switch or add user accounts, and lastly, settings. The power menu is supposed to come here, but it's not here in this first beta build. Anyway, you get the new settings toggles in a new two-row design with the thick brightness toggle on the top. Now, it's not just the looks, Android 12 is also bringing a couple of very useful new toggles. There are two kill switch toggles for camera and mic, which will just disable them for any app. There are also new toggles coming for Google Pay and home control, but yeah, they're not part of this build. The lock screen has changed too. It now shows you the weather details with a nice little icon, and I think it looks modern and very bold when you don't have any notifications whatsoever. Yep, you get this huge clock on the lock screen, which hopefully will be customizable in the future. There's also a thick new volume UI, which I'm not a fan of, but I've heard that this isn't final. Another new change I've noticed is in the Pixel launcher. Well, it's the option to get app suggestions on the bottom row, aka the dock of the home screen. Now these suggestions, like the ones in the app drawer we've seen, will change according to your usage and time, so yeah, maybe handy. Now like always, there's also the brand new settings page, which makes me feel like I've increased the font size. Other than that, it is One UI inspired with a whole one-handed focused UI, and it looks good. Now talking about one-handed usage, there's also a new one-handed mode, which is very similar to iOS's reachability feature. So I can just swipe down at the bottom and the whole UI kind of comes down like this for better access to the top UI elements. Now it's a little clunky in the beta build, but yeah, this is how it works, and it works everywhere, even in third-party apps. Apart from these UI changes, there are new animations almost everywhere. First up, there's this new pattern ripple effect, which I really don't like. Just take a look at this. Yeah, it kind of looks like a glitch to me. Anyway, I do like the other cool animations. For example, this charging animation. Yeah, I like how it smoothly goes from the bottom to the top. I also like the smooth screen off and screen on animation. I like how the screen dims from the corner. Apart from that, there are new animations almost everywhere. For example, in the app drawer, see this? Yeah, that is cool. Now obviously the big Material U feature is the wallpaper based theming. So Android 12 will create a theme based on the colors in your wallpaper. It will detect the dominant colors and the complementary ones, and then create a theme that will extend to the whole UI, be it buttons, pages, keyboard, even the third-party apps, and also the new, more dynamic widgets. Android 12 is also bringing a widget revamp in a sort of follow-up to iOS's widgets. But yeah, both of these features aren't present in this build, so let's wait and watch. Now moving on to the second big change in Android 12, it's the privacy-related changes. So Android 12 is going to bring a lot of privacy features, and a lot of them remind me of iOS. I've already talked about the new kill switch to disable the camera and microphone access, but there's a whole lot more. First, Android 12 brings private compute core, which will be a separate partition in the OS that will store personal info gathered from features like now playing, smart replies, etc. on the device itself. Android 12 is also bringing a new privacy dashboard, as you can see, which will show you the number of times apps have accessed the camera, mic, and location in the last 24 hours. It'll also show you this timeline of which apps have accessed these permissions and when. Android 12 also brings the much-loved privacy indicators similar to iOS, so you'll get these icons when an app is using the camera or the mic. Also, you can now give apps your approximate location. As you can see, this is available in this beta build, and yeah, you can enable or disable precise location for specific apps. Now that's not all. Android 12 will also bring you these small pop-ups when you copy something to show you that the clipboard is being used. Now, one iOS feature that's still missing in Android 12 is the whole app tracking permission, which I think is a big deal. So hopefully we'll see it in the final stable Android 12 build. Now, apart from the UI and the privacy, the third big thing of Android 12 is obviously the new features. Now, first up, there's a super cool new fade audio transition when switching audio between apps. Listen to this.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way.
Look, privacy is a myth. Yes, it's true. But the least we can do is protect. Also, I got this when I first opened up the Play Store. App install optimization, which is basically Google noting how you're using new apps. Now, the good news is you can turn this off in the Play Store settings. There's also a new accessibility menu floating icon, which can be more convenient for some than the button shortcut. Now, there are a lot of other new features that's not part of this beta, but it's coming in Android 12. There's scrolling screenshots, the new log folder feature in Google Photos, a game mode and game toolbar, which will let you see FPS, optimize gaming performance, etc. Smart auto rotate, which uses a face for more accurate screen rotation. App hibernation, where unused apps will be force stopped and their temporary data will be cleared. So there are obviously a lot of these features in Android 12 that we will see later on. Also, if you're wondering, Google says Android 12 brings improved performance. It's set to reduce CPU time by 22% while improving power efficiency by 15%. Look, overall, this is my sort of first look and my very early thoughts on Android 12. And yes, there are new features, but the focus obviously is on the UI. And while the first beta does not bring in all the UI changes, the theming, but if you ask me, I like Android 12 so far. I mean, the last UI revamp came in 2014 with Lollipop. So yes, it's high time Android got a big visual update, and Android 12 brings exactly that.
Of course, a lot of the elements of the power menu, such as controlling your house lights or activating Google Pay, has been relegated to the quick settings menu, so you still have quick access to all of those things. Google also mentioned their competing service with Apple's Car Key. The digital car key feature is baked into the OS just like Apple's Car Key. It'll use NFC to unlock your car, and you can share your digital key with a friend if needed. This feature will roll out slowly to Google Pixel and Samsung Galaxy smartphones later this year. Finally, we'll talk briefly about the baked-in Android TV remote in Android 12. It's really a small thing, but it lets you connect to your Android TV in the event that you lose your remote and control things directly from your phone or devices. It all actually looks pretty nice. The next part we'll talk about is the quick settings. The toggles are entirely gone and replaced with small cards. You'll see fewer cards than you did toggles, but each card is cleanly labeled, easy to understand, and contains more information than the toggle buttons did in previous versions of Android. The cards match the general shape of the media player from Android 11, so everything blends together nicely. You may also notice these little burst animations when you tap on the quick settings buttons. This is also a new theming element that is actually present on most button presses across the OS. Of course, the settings menu got a redesign as well, and yes, it's reminiscent of Samsung's One UI. Google wanted to focus on legibility, so they tweaked the spacing and size of everything so it's easier to see and to read. The overscroll looks similar, but it was also rebuilt from the ground up. If you scroll to the top, you'll see large banner text so that people with large phones can hit the topmost options without readjusting the phones in their hands. The other big thing Google added was something they're calling color extraction. Basically, you set a wallpaper and the OS identifies the prominent and complementary colors. It then uses those colors to auto-theme various parts of the OS, such as the volume rocker, quick settings, regular settings, widgets, and even places like the keyboard and stock messaging app. We're sure this will reach other apps as well as developers start to adopt it. Most of this takes place in the wallpaper and style screen that you can access by long pressing the home screen. It shows you the colors it extracts from the wallpaper after you choose one. Of course, you can override the color extraction feature and choose the colors you want as well. Yes, friends, it only took 14 years, but we have proper, if somewhat basic theming in stock Android. I don't know about you, but that makes me a happy camper. Unfortunately, the theming engine isn't live in the beta, but it should be in a future release. Some other changes include more streamlined widgets, a revamped pin entry screen on the lock screen, a wider color palette used.
Well, I want to know what you guys think of the latest Android 12 update. Tell us in the comment section below. Also, we will be taking a look at the new privacy features in Android 12 when Beta 2 arrives, so stay tuned for that. Also, give this video a like, make sure to share it, subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos.